So really what I want this to be, man, is just like your experience. Like please feel
Mhm.
free to share everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, what you expect, what shifted, what changed, what didn't shift, expectations, kind of all of it. I just want it to be an open and free space for you to share your honest experience. And if you're okay with it, I'll definitely like share it on my website later on, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I just a fair warning. So I'm actually in an interesting emotional space
Okay.
right now, and it's actually a lot of the stuff that we worked on is being supportive during this time. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just giving off a different kind of vibe or something, I'm still, I think, sorting out or
That's fine,
processing
man.
whatever is
Yeah,
going through.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I just want you to know, man, like I know we're not doing our one-on-one work together, but like Linda and Margie as coaches, they're amazing women and I've worked with them and coached with them and they're still available for you for support as you go throughout the course as well too. Cause if you
mhm.
got more stuff coming up, like that's what this is about, you know?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. I am definitely gonna try and get some time with them.
Good. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Why don't we start with maybe you like asking a question instead of me? I don't even know where
Yeah,
to start,
I
you
think
know.
that's great. I think that's great. What were some of your expectations going in, like from the start? What was the space that you were coming into from the start before we started coaching?
You mean the space that I was in and like where I wanted to get to?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so where I was devastated,
Mm,
defeated. Um, like throwing in the raising the white flag or something, man. I uh, I was leading up to that. I was having such a great experience of life, and I think just a couple things that I give value to just kind of fell through the hole. So I was
mm,
I was in a tough spot, and I felt like I was just holding on to things for like dear life from like an emotional um, point of view and stuff. And I have always, I think, not always, once I started working with coaches, I I had really felt to a sense like the importance and like the intelligence of having a coach.
mm,
Um, the only thing is like good good coaches, coaches that can, really take you from like A to B, that they cost a lot of money.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
There's nothing cheap about that. And so I think that was something that's why I had hesitated in terms of having like a longer term kind. And well, I mean, I think I've continued to like ever since like we met and kind of parted ways. I've continued to see you like always show up all the
mm,
time, interactions and stuff, and I felt like I could trust you,
mm,
and um and in the sense trust you in that light. Like I just felt like real embarrassed and whatever was going on. So that's where that's kind of my expectations, if we're being honest here, were that like how would I put it, man? It's like I was expecting you to pull me out. I think that's one expectation. I can say for you to help me pull myself out, but I think I was really wanting you to pull me out.
mm,
And
mm-hmm,
just get me like on some solid ground, get me to a state where I think get me to a state where I would be feeling secure within myself, so that I could go for the things that I wanted to be going for.
mm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
that I was really um, feeling some kind of way about going for. So
mm.
that I think, yeah, that's that.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Justin. And, one of the things that I think people realize when it comes to coaching, um, I think a lot of people come to it with the expectation like, okay, I want to get from A to B as quickly as possible.
Hmm.
And like this person is going to like motivate me and push me and make it happen. But the cool thing about it, the way that I've always seen coaching is we actually open people up and they drop into a deeper space within themselves beyond the coach. Like the coach gives them the safe space and the ability to fall deeper into themselves so they actually hit solid ground and realize, oh wow, wait a second, like I can go for this. I've always had permission to go for this. Maybe I didn't allow myself permission before. And the coach brings awareness to all the things that were keeping that individual to really go for it. And one of the biggest shifts that I saw within you, like one right off the bat, I had no idea that you came to me so emotionally stretched. Like I didn't see that. Like for me, from the outside looking in, everything seemed really really solid, like on the outside in. And as we went deeper and deeper, we went through those layers of like conditioned self, like this is how I should show up as society, this is what I want to look like, the idea of the self versus the actual true self coming forward. And as we went
Hmm.
deeper and deeper throughout the process, I just saw more of your true self coming out, like that part of you that's just doing your rap and sharing it with the world because that's what gives you pleasure and that's what really excites you. And it's not about the ideas that maybe that you had before going into it. Those things are okay to want, but coming from the space of inside out versus outside in, coming from the space of authentic expression to as opposed to an idea of who I need to be or what it should look like and trying to hustle up and make that happen. And I saw as we went throughout that process, you really shift perspectives. And some of that might still be settling even as now, which is why I wanted you to be a part of the group program, because as that settles down more of your authentic self will continue to just come through. And so I saw a really big shift for you where it wasn't about looking a certain way, it wasn't about having an idea of who you should be, but just an authentic expression of who you really are and feeling more safe and more comfortable coming from that authentic expression of who you really are, as opposed to trying to live into an idea that wasn't necessarily the authentic expression of you.
Hmm. You want me to speak on that?
Sure. Yeah, please. I mean, what was how does that resonate with you and how you saw it and
Yeah,
experienced it?
yeah. See, another thing that I think I wanted from having you as a coach is the like the accountability and also like extra push.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I know that I'm capable of things. Like I've done things, but for like the longevity and consistently for like a long period of time, um, whenever the pressure gets like that big, like I need some support, you know.
Yeah, some
And
masculine umph.
right. Somebody that's on the same page as me and that's got like my back in that regard. And
Hmm.
so that was something else that that you really helped me out with. Um, Going from the whole settling into myself, I'd agree with you that it's like it's still happening, like it's a
Hmm.
process that's still going on, and it's I don't know. I guess it's kind of tough to expect. It's like a plant, right? The plant doesn't dig roots, you know, overnight. Not even over the course of like a few weeks and stuff. Like to get its roots like really deep down, it does take time
Hmm.
and that nourishment and stuff.
Hmm.
And so I feel like that is still happening, that is still taking place, and it, you know, it's good and all. And it, to me, the good thing was that I got a chance in that group call. I think you touched on this thing about giving individual a chance to have the experience when that person was
Mm,
asking about their kid and stuff. And I got a chance for a sustained amount of time to have the experience of um, like long-term growth.
mm,
And it's like the example that I give is it's like farming. Like farming is a long-term kind of a thing. And in farming, like your part in farming is to show up every day and to provide that nourishment, right?
mhm,
Provide the seed, the water, make sure it gets sunlight, all that kind of stuff. And
mm,
then you have to allow it to grow. And that's like a period of like waiting and trust and just trusting that the process of showing up is going to work.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so for me, that trust thing was, I think that trust thing was an issue because I mean I have seen quite a few things from start to finish, but not with the proper awareness
Mm,
around it, that this is what happens from start to finish. This is what it took for this thing to develop, is the everyday showing up, and this is like what it takes, and actually putting the focus on it so that it's understood that that is what it takes. I
mhm,
think I've kind of just gone through things,
mm,
and so here, um since we're talking about it and we're looking at it, and there's a lot of questions and all that stuff, I think I just got a much better taste that uh, putting focus and showing up every day, um, over the course of however much time, over a long term period of time, like whatever you do, it's going to work.
mhm.
Whether it's
Yeah.
business or relationship or friendship or this music thing or whatever thing. Um, that process of farming and feeding and nourishing and waiting and allowing,
Mm,
that's going to work. And so that, getting a real taste of that, I think gave me a sense of security, like within
mm,
myself,
mm,
that you know what, even if like shit's hitting the fan and it's all falling apart, if I stick to the process, if I stick to that long-term process, like it is going to work,
yeah.
and I can trust that, and that makes me feel a lot more, I don't know, safe or sure or something like that.
Thanks for
And
sharing
that
that.
that is, yeah, that, not to cut you off, but that to me was probably the most important piece of
Mm,
this entire thing. Just knowing that following that process will, everything's going to be all right, irrespective of how chaotic it looks.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that's that inner security and stability. And I did see you kind of go through that shift. I'd say for me, at least I saw it on the outside. You may have experienced it within yourself very differently. I saw it like about month two and a half or three, where you kind of like it hit. It was like, oh wait, whatever it is that I'm going to try to create, this isn't going to happen overnight, but if I continually show up every single day and stay committed, then no matter what, it can't not show up. And that's where I think a lot of individuals go wrong and shortcut their dreams and shortcut their creations, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationship. They expect to have something very quickly or overnight, and nothing works that way. Like nothing of value works that way. And what builds our stability and our security, either in our work or in our inner world, is knowing that we show up continually. And yes, it might be chaotic, or yes, it might look bad on the outside at times, but if we keep showing up, it will take root. And I what I see in this work so many times is a lot of people look for external evidence out there in the world whether something's going to work or not. Like, oh, I'm seeing signs, and oh, that bad sign is not going to work out, so I should back out or should pull off. but our true power and our security and stability comes from not looking at signs at the external world, but just continually showing up with that internal commitment to whatever we need to address in the external world. And that's what builds the stability and security within us. And I really saw that sink in for you. And it may still be landing and it may still be grounding, but we did plant that seed. And now it's just about watering it and committing. And as you go into your own creations more with, your rap, your music, your plans with Bitcoin, your plans with personal development, building your team around you, however that looks in the outside world, if you stay committed and you continue to show up, it can't not show up, because that's how life works. It's always asking us to show up more. And if we show up more, it'll show up for us, but it's not going to do the work for us. And so I saw you pass through that point. At least from what I saw, it looked like it was maybe 2.5 or 3 months in. It seems like that was when it planted, and then it just kind of grew more and more from there. And that's where the stability and the security is. It's like once we recognize that and realize that, and we understand that that's the game that we're playing in the feedback loop with life is actually pretty easy. It's actually pretty secure and stable. But we create it. We do it. It starts with us.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's still a process that's happening for me, and eventually, I think it'll get to a different level of just feeling solid and stable and all that, and that'll take its time. Are in between, but yeah, that not just shift in perspective, but that experience of like having that experience of that was huge.
Awesome. Yeah. And what I want to add to this, Justin, too, what I found on my own journey and what I see along the coaching process is, like, at every single level, it's going to get a little scary. Like, even for me in my work and my business, like, I'm putting on a new stretch. Like, this year I'm taking on more people, taking on more responsibilities, and it's scary for me. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm doubting everything again. And that's a part of the learning process as well, too. And once we kind of understand that that's just how it works and it's okay. And once we know that we're safe with that either way, that's really, we get more bold to create more and more and more and make more and more happen. So you'll see that at every single level, that insecurity or that worry or, oh my gosh, can I really do that? At every single new level, that's going to come up. And that's the new next level of growth and development. And I think that's the value of having a coach or a mentor or someone in your back corner, because they can see that, they can hold space for that, and they can just reassure you that, hey, it's safe, keep on going. It's your energy and efforts and commitment that continues to build that security. And yeah, as long as you continue to stick with it, man, I see you doing really big things. I mean, last time I think we spoke about it, it was you were planning on either staying in Atlanta and getting your crew around you, or potentially staying in Tulum. Either way, I think you've tasted enough of it to keep going. Like that's my sense and experience of you, is that you've tasted enough of this, of like, okay, yep, I can keep going. I can keep going with this. And yeah, I just wanted to speak to that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The internet was cutting out. That's why I got up and kind of
Okay,
changed.
thanks. I appreciate it.
I'm
Yeah,
like right next to the router right now, so
cool. Thank you.
that should be good.
What else, as you went through the process, what else did you just see shift within you, but also in the external world as well? Was there any really big salient experiences that you experienced within you and outside of you that you found to be really supportive moving forward?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean there definitely are. Now that you ask me, it makes it a little difficult. All right, so one thing that's going on right now, right, in my current situation that I'm in, that that I got a chance to see with you is this is so funny because we even kind of touched on this on the call that we just had. Was about it's like how there's it's gonna sound so stupid because intellectually, like I think we all get it, but it's different when it's like when you're embodying it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like it's not like things have to happen this way or
Yeah.
that you have to be this way. Um, Everybody's growing up differently, and like everybody has different desires, everybody has different wants. I think the important thing is about communicating so that, like, if me and you are going to do something, we've got to know, we've got to be clear on like what is each of our intention, what is it that I'm wanting out of this, what is it that you're wanting out of this,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of being clear on that so that we can do our best to make sure that we're both being fed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's like if we're then then it's like I could be expecting you to be like this, or you should also like this, or like, all right, I thought we were gonna go and do this thing. Why aren't you ready, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, you know? And so right now, so in Tulum, like I'm also meeting up with like this big group of people that are also here, and from a surface level on what was kind of discussed, I thought I had an idea of kind of what was going to go down, or I guess everyone's intention of being here,
Mm-hmm.
but it it kind of seems like that might not be the case. And I noticed that I was just getting frustrated with it, you know. And what I saw as at least an opportunity for me to do, just to get clear on things, because it's just a lack of communication is all I'm saying, is whenever we meet up tonight, just asking each one, like, you know, so what is it that you what were your intentions of this
Mm-hmm.
trip? You know, what is it that you're wanting out of this trip?
Mm-hmm.
And just getting clear on it. And there's no right or wrong answer. You know, I want whatever everybody has come here for. I want them to get that so that they had a good time here. And I also want to be clear on what everybody's wanting, just so that I know how to adjust myself accordingly. And if I'm
Mm-hmm.
wanting something, and if you're not wanting something, then at least I know that,
Yeah.
so that that communication's clear. And and so I think in the sense, sometimes we, at least I know for me, especially doing like group kind of things, even in relationships. I'm even thinking about my last relationship and just how I was too caught up in like my own ideas and feeling like it should be this way or it should be that way or it should be, in a quote unquote accepted kind of way, whatever my
Mm-hmm.
ideas were, instead of asking my partner at the time, um, what is it that you want?
Mm-hmm.
What are the kind of things that you want? How do you want your day to go, or how do you want this thing to go, or just getting her side of it, so that, okay, now I know this is what you need to, so that you're fed.
Mm-hmm.
And handling like it like that, that's a much more intelligent way of, I think, going about life, as opposed to like it has to be this way, so
Mm-hmm.
let's make it happen this way.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm. What did you see
that
shift in
was
your? Mm.
I learned a lot. Yeah,
Was there anything else that you want to share there, Justin? I think the bandwidth went a little bit.
yeah. There's a little bit of a delay. No, that was, I think that was it on that.
Cool, cool. What did you see shift in your relationships?
Um, I think I had always harped highly on communication,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I still was too caught up in thinking that like my ideas are right. And so I think being able to have some distance from that and really just ask the question like what's going on with you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's got to be a genuine question too, just to make sure like I'm that your needs are being met too.
Mm-hmm.
um I clearly remember one day where um I was just putting a strong focus on friendship,
Mm-hmm.
and and building that. And Jesus Christ, man, that day I probably turned into the best friend I think anybody could have had. I mean, I was feeling good, like kind of on my own. I think I was also expressing my needs. That whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, expressing my needs, and then I was talking in a way where where I would have been drawing out um, like their needs, or like what is it? Yeah, what is it that you need, or what is it that you want right now? And
Mm-hmm.
and I think I just remember that day as being just such an easy day, relationship wise. It was friendship wise, such an easy day, and it all just I think came down to communicating my needs, me not throwing my ideas on them, and instead asking them their needs, and
Mm-hmm.
no judgment, no none of that, and just doing my best to make sure that um, our needs are being met.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the I saw, I'd say about, I think it was like third and a half or 4 months in, it seemed like you went through a really deep shift around recognizing deeper desires within yourself and being okay with owning those desires and having those desires, but also recognizing deeper desires within other people as well too, and where those deeper desires weren't being met. And I really saw that shift, and it seemed like from my end that your relationships as well started taking a shift as well. As soon as you noticed that you had deeper needs and that there was no shame, or there, or maybe there you were present, at least as I remember it, you were present to some shame around having those needs. It started seeming like you started voicing up for what you needed. Like even when you started reaching out to me, it was like, hey man, I just need some support and encouragement in this area or that area. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. And I would like send you the text in the morning, or I would shoot you a message in the evening or send you an email or something. And it was really cool for me to see where you realize that, one, it was okay to be safe to asking for support, which I think is huge as men, because as men, I think a lot of men, myself included, don't like to ask for the support that we need. And it's like really hard, whether it's emotional support, mental support, whatever it may be. I saw you take that shift, and that was really awesome for me to see. And then two, I also just saw where it seemed like you became more in touch with what really nurtured you and what wasn't nurturing you, and you started seeing some of the relationships that no longer fed or nurtured you, and then you could also see other relationships that were nurturing and feeding you, and I think drawing a distinction between the two, and I still see that going on as we go throughout the program, and making those distinctions. But I think that was really, it was really cool for me as a coach to see that on your end, for you to like wake up to that and realize, oh wow, like some of these relationships actually aren't helping or fueling me anymore, but some of these ones are, and who can show up for me in this way and who can't show up for me in that way.
Yeah, I actually just wrote down. It'd be funny if I showed up what I wrote. I just wrote something along the lines of, what friendships do I want to continue like pouring my energy
Yeah.
into? Because those things do matter, and it does matter. It's important which ones I'm pouring my energy into. Um, just to touch on this thing, another thing for me that was just good that I came to terms with it was that I have needs.
Mm,
And because the way that I've at least grown up, and I think you know, a lot of the people that I grew up around, this whole thing about having needs and all this stuff, it was never really a thing.
yeah.
But in real life, it is a thing, and you've got to acknowledge it. And yeah. So that's the first thing I would say around that was just the acknowledgement that I do have needs, and
Mm,
then that whole thing you said about owning those needs, even that was like, a process of
mm,
uh, of owning whatever at least I'm saying my needs are, um, owning those, and
mhm.
not making anything extra about it.
Yeah. Not
And
creating an extra story or,
right, not creating an extra story or any of that. And I think when I start, and I'm still in the process of, I think, letting go of the shame around whatever some of the needs are. I think that also opened up, like, the ability to uh, see that someone else also has needs. Their needs are important for them, and making sure that they get fed, and that I'm like acknowledging their needs.
mm,
That's actually a thing too,
yeah.
and
Mm,
that just makes for, I think, healthier um, relationships. There was
mm.
something else that you asked in there that you mentioned that I wanted to comment on. I thought that there was some value in it. I can't. Oh, I think this was it. I think this whole thing about needs. One thing that I'm still seeing it, but it's becoming more and more clear is that um, when I'm voicing my needs, this will sound a little, abstract or whatever, but it's like when I'm voicing my needs, really putting it out there and owning it, man, like life just has a way of filling that
Mhm.
void. It
Mm,
might not look like the way that I might have imagined it in my head when I asked for that need to be met. And I
mhm.
think that there is a way to ask for needs to be met without having an imagination that it should look like this or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but whenever recently, and it's got to just be how it's been, this entire time. Whenever I'm voicing my needs and asking for that I need my needs met, somehow something is coming in and filling that.
Mm, mhm, mhm. Another big shift that I see that I saw that happened, at least the seed was planted. The engine will still turn, and it's going to take some time for the engine to start turning the other way. Was being motivated by like proving other people as opposed to being motivated because you're getting nurtured and you're getting your needs met and that driving you. Like I see
Mm,
a lot of people in the world where they have this idea of who they think they should be and who they should be and how they should show up, and then they think that they have to prove to the world that, like it's this fight, and it still might be for some people, it really is. But once you know how to voice what you need and what you want, and you get the people in your life, friends, family, who can help you support and get you there, and the people who can't and don't get you there, life is no longer about proving. It's more just about like, I just need to prove this to myself because I know that this is my capacity and my capability and my potential, and I need to support myself and surround myself with the right people who are online and in line with that. And I did see your internal motivation switch, whether you realize that or not. On my level, I saw it switch from a place of I need to prove to more of, okay, I have my needs met, I have other people, I'm getting my crew around me who are on vision and who are on board with what I'm trying to create, and this is what we're creating and this is what we're making happen. And I need people's support, and either you're in or you're out. and it's just about accessing your potential. So I did see it like a motivational switch there, to some degree. Did you feel that switch where it became less about proving and more towards just recognizing that this is the potential that you have within you and just honoring that potential? Did you notice that switch at all?
Yeah, so there is still an element
Proving.
of the proving and of like that attacking kind of
Mm-hmm.
energy. That's definitely gone down a lot because I think more than proving to anyone else, I think I've just even just with this like rap thing, I think I've just proven to myself that I can do it and I can keep on showing up and I can keep on being even more of myself. And it's turned into like see, even when I started that, there might have been, a thing of proving, but it was more about finding like my voice and
Mm-hmm.
really going for more of an expression kind of a thing, and feeling whatever it is that I might be so afraid about, feeling. Um,
Mm.
that's that's turned to like a source of like food, like a supply
Mm-hmm.
of food for me now. Like that being something that I've committed to. And then when I think about it, all the things actually that I've committed to are supplies of food.
Mm.
And
Mm.
a- and so as of now, I don't really feel like I'm proving anything to um anyone. Although, I'm thinking about some other another kind of creative thing that I want to do. There is this element of proving it, but it's I can at least say it's not all about proving it. It's not all about attacking. Um, at least with the rap thing, I mean, I'm really just enjoying doing it. Like I want to keep doing it.
Mm.
It's not from a place of trying to one up anyone or anything like that. It just like I feel great when I do it. I feel real when I do it. I feel good that I'm sharing myself when I'm doing it. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin, it's really been an honor and amazing and just amazing to see you come into more of yourself and really what I see is possible for you just because of your level of commitment and your willingness and how you show up. I do see the potential for you to have your own crew around you to be popular in music, like really popular in music and loving what you do. And it might take 5, 10, 15, 20 years, man, but if you do commit to it and you build the support systems around you, you can get to that level that I think that you see within yourself. Because I see it very, very clearly. You have the talent, you have the voice. One of the first things that you and I spoke about right from the start was your voice. Like I still remember watching your YouTube video, that you posted 3.5 or 4 years ago when we were in Isha together, where you were using your voice and in like that is whether that's a God-given talent and it's developed. I think it's a mix of both. Like that, there's a real power and a real impact there. And if you continue to show up and commit and you continue to build this support system around you, man, like you are going to be known, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Like if you show up and you continue to develop that and craft that and stay on the path, like you will be known and you will be big. And I see that for you. The only thing is the matter of willingness and just keeping that sense of consistency and commitment. Not everyone has that gift, man. Like that really is an amazing gift. And I really feel like with what we've done within the last 6 months, we created the emotional space for you to feel safe, to show up 100% in that. And the only thing that I see that's keeping you from being known at that national or international level would be your level of commitment and the level of support. And from what I've seen around your levels of commitment, just with the Isha, with the practices, you do always show up. even if it's hard, even if you're tired, you do show up. And if you can show up with that same level of commitment that I've seen in other areas of your life with your voice, and continually keep that support around you, you will be known at that big level. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you can feel it and see it. Like, I do see that for you 150%. You just got to continue to show up committed and willing. And from what I've seen so far, I don't see any other reason for why you shouldn't continue down that path.
Yeah, it's and I really do appreciate you saying that. I because I didn't do this thing, and it's not like I'm still not doing this to be a rapper or anything. I actually I kind of don't want to be a rapper to be honest with you. I just want to keep on doing the thing. Um, I I just want to be me. I
Yeah.
just want to be me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And but what's so interesting is I've been doing this thing. I've been showing up, um, and I've been getting a lot of people who I have some who I haven't even talked to in God knows how long, just reaching out to me and just saying, saying positive things and all that. And it feels like, that there's like something like brewing, something good brewing. Um, I'm even feeling like I can take bigger steps in this now, like actually turning it into something a little bit more than what I originally, thought of.
Mm,
So I definitely do see possibility for expansion in a lot of areas. Um, I feel more expanded. I feel like I've given myself the permission to be myself
mm,
more and to express myself, which is super good. Um, but what you just said about really taking things to like the next level um, is having a solid support system.
mm,
That is like where my focus is going to be for until that thing gets built, because
mm.
I think just having a solid support system where like whoever I'm with in that is really seeing eye to eye, and we're there for each other and all that. That's gonna, I think, play a really really big role,
Mm,
as far as just going even more at it and all that.
mm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess my last question is, where do you, if you do continue down this path, genuinely, when you feel into your heart space and your potential, if you continue to follow down this path, where do you see yourself like 10 or 15 years from now? And it can just be just a fun question.
Hmm. Nah, to be honest with you, I mean, and yeah, I don't want to get myself too wrapped around it, but I definitely see myself like being some level of like an influencer, having a decent following. My voice is really out there more. The music's out there more. I'm just out there more,
Mm, mm,
and because even in these last few months, like I've been feeling a lot more solid, and
mm.
I know that as I keep on doing whatever it is that I'm doing and committing and going forward and consistently showing up and building that support, and having all that feed me, I'm gonna be even more solid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just feel really, um, I'm feeling really strong. These last couple of days, I've been feeling like real strong, just internally.
Mhm.
But just establishing that support system, I think, is going to be key
Yeah.
um, for moving on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Justin, it's been a real honor just to like hold this space for you, man, and to speak to it. And really, from my heart to yours, I'm really excited to see what you do within the next 15 years, 10 or 15, because I do see that. Like, I do see if you follow down this path and you get the supportive system, right support systems and the right people in your back corner, it's going to be huge, man. And I'm not just saying that because, like, this is for my channel or this is like like I genuinely mean that from my heart to yours. Like, I'm really excited for the potential that you have to offer the world, man. I get emotional when I say this because I do see it and it's there. And for me, just to be a little part of that puzzle, even if it was just activating that within you and allowing you to see that within yourself, like I'm so excited to see that expression out there in the world and what the full, like, like I saw the kernel and it popped and it opened and it's out there now. And now it just needs the right support systems to maintain it. And if there's anything that you take away from this conversation, it's that you get all those support systems that you need, and the program that we're doing, that you get those support systems that you need to be able to stabilize that, because that is on offer for your life. And I genuinely just feel a deep sense of gratitude for even being a part of that in the small blimp of your entire lifespan.
No, that's a lot of nice words, man. And I really do appreciate that. One other thing for me that I've been seeing just a lot more clearly is, and again, this is also not just because, you know, this is for your channel and we're having this conversation. Like I actually do feel this is, so like Kobe always had a coach. Jordan always had a coach. Tom Brady always had a coach. Federer has always had all these people that have been, even like rappers and stuff. Maybe they wouldn't call it like, you know, the official term coach, and other terms like a mentor or something like that. It is, I would say it's the most intelligent way to go about moving through life I mean, unless you're going to be, you know, like 1,000 years old, to move through life with the limited amount of time that we have and actually let something real out, you know, inside. And and so for me, I was also thinking that it would be extremely important. It'd just be a smart move to continue having a coach.
Yeah.
It did a lot for me so far, and it'll be extremely smart, I think, while things are going well, to still have a coach. And so I just think just on an overall point of view, to get from A to B, I think having a coach is like otherwise you're trying to do it yourself, and you can do it. It's not like you can't do it yourself, but it's just going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. What I love, I think, about the coaching relationship is coaches know how to activate something within another person because they know how to hold that space. The good ones, at least, they know how to hold the space. They know how to activate that potential. They know how to speak to that potential. And then they know how to use the right challenging energy and compassionate energy to allow that potential to start actualizing. And so the best way that I see it is great coaches assess, and they don't really let the other person know that they're assessing. It's just happening internally, but they see the potential, they speak to the potential, and they use the right amount of challenging energy and compassionate energy to bring that potential into actualization. And that's what I love about this work, because we don't have enough human beings in the world who know how to do that really, really well. And that's why I always feel really humbled and great. I just feel a sense of humbleness when I do this work with people, because I can see that potential, and I know what needs to be done in order to get that potential from the inner world out there to the external world. And it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen over 6 months. The purpose of a really great coach is for them to come in, speak to that potential, invite and evoke that potential out, and let that kernel or seed human being know exactly what they need in order to become a full-blown piece of, as I guess as Sadhguru says, a full-blown piece of life, interactive, fully contributing, and fully giving. And I see nothing but big things for you, man, as long as you continue to have those support systems in place and continue to have the right environments and the right people to support and further that growth. And That's why I'm excited for you to be a part of the program as well too, because I think that's a great exit way for you to get the most out of what we did and what we activated and what we started up within you.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree.
Thanks, Justin. It's really been an honor and delight to have you be a part of this, man. Do you have anything last that you want to share? Anything at all? And if not, that's
Uh,
fine too.
no, I feel like I said what I wanted to say. Um, I thought it was just real great about instead of you telling me, do this, do that, do this, be like that, that you were more asking me, what is it that I want, and how
Yeah.
do I want my life to look, and all right, let's see how to, get that going and fulfill that.
Yeah.
That I thought was huge.
Yeah, you got it, man. We have we have enough people telling us how to live and how to be, but we don't have enough people asking us about who we really are and what really wants to come through and what's really on offer for our life. And if we genuinely get curious about another human being, things open up that they themselves never even knew. And that's how potential actually gets accessed. And there's times to tell, I think. And there was definitely times where I did was like, hey man, you got this, like make it happen, just do it, get out there. But questions activate potential. And when potential is activated, the infinite expression of consciousness and who we really are can come through. And that's so much more powerful than in the long run. That's so much more powerful than anyone just saying, hey, do this, do that, do that, do this.
Yeah.
Awesome, Justin. Well, thanks for being a part of this, my friend. It's been an honor and a delight, and I'm excited to see what still comes out and what stabilizes as we go throughout the next 3 months within the program. There's some really good people in there, and yeah, man, I'm just really excited to see what else comes through and what lands. You'll see as you go throughout just the process of life, there'll be more things that show up from our conversations a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road. I've had 3 coaches before, but even my last coach, Michael, I still have stuff come up with him that he shared. I just had a realization the other day of one of our conversations, and it was over a year ago. And I was like, oh, that's what he meant. Or, oh, that one sentence that he shared. So there's this work. It's not just in the time frame, it's exponential. You'll continue to have realizations as you go throughout your life that make you reflect back on, oh, there was that thing, or oh, that kernel or that seed that was planted in that conversation just opened up and now it's making sense. And that's also what I really appreciate and admire about this work.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome, man. Thanks for doing this, brother. I'll see you in class on Saturday. And we also have Michael's interview coming up April 1st. And then we also have JG coming up in mid-April. JG's awesome, dude. He's got like a following of like 40,000. He does work with Mind Valley. He does speaking all around the world. I'm just excited for you to get to see some of these people as well, too, just because for me, I looked at them and I was like, dude, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So it'll just further along that like excitement and that willingness and that inspiration.
Cool. And I just want to close it up from my end, saying I everything that we've already said, but I really do appreciate, especially I think where we started the 6 months. I really appreciate you asking me what was going on, you asking all those questions, pulling out what it is that I want and how do I want my life to go, and you being like without judgment on however I was coming on stuff that also made me feel like I already felt like I could trust you, but it just made the whole space feel a lot more safe, and um, that was important.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah. Life is for you. It's for you, man. That's what it's about. I think that's why we're here. And I wish other human beings would get that. Life is for us. And it's anything's on offer. I think I did a quote on my stories the other day. It was, life is a buffet. As long as you're willing to show up with the plate, You can put
Mhm.
as much food as you want on the plate. You can try as many different desserts as you want. You can try as many different food and mix and match it however you want. Like, we're here for life. It's that's why, it's not the other way around. I think a lot of times people don't, we just never have given ourselves permission to be that way.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot.
Cool. All right, my friend. I will see you soon. I'll see you on Saturday, and feel free to share anything else if anything else comes up for you. Yeah, you know where to find me, man.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. This was fun.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy Tulum. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, take care.
Bye. Bye for now.